Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stay of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. We're starting really late, so I'm not messing around this week. We got a lot to talk about. We have the launch trailer to talk about, which we brought Ethys on to talk about, and we got a live letter to talk about, at least some things on there. So I'm not going to mess around. I'm one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. FFXIV. Of course, joining me is Slyh, a.k.a. Slythefox, a.k.a. Slyh, a.k.a. Greyfox. How you doing, Slyh?
I'm doing
That's
good.
great. Ethys, how you doing? You're here, too.
Howdy, it's me and Sam.
All right, awesome. Let's get started. Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. All right, there.
That's efficiency right there, boys.
That's some fucking efficiency. So I'm going to say on the top at the top of the show, Steel Series sponsoring the show. You guys know the drill every week. Patreon sponsors. We're not going to read out all your names. The show's already as late as it is, but I will thank you for it at some point, just not by reading all of your names out in a row. Let's please get started, because the show was supposed to begin an hour and 15 minutes ago, but the live letter was like a full-length 3-hour live letter.
All right, where do you want to start?
I don't, dude.
I say we start with the launch trailer.
There you go. Fuck it. That's the whole 2 hours for Ethys. He actually has a 2-hour video out about it as we speak.
Yep. Yeah, all right. If you want to know about the launch trailer, go watch the video. Let's move on.
That's it. Ultimate efficiency for the show. Fuck it. Watch that video instead. Mm-hmm. No, it's always good. You know that Ethys is really excited about a topic when he makes a YouTube video about it. That's like the ultimate sign, because it means he's putting as much trouble as the platform has given him completely aside, because YouTube has been terrible to him to create this entire discussion.
You know, I actually went through, like, my whole channel got demonetized. I actually went through and I wouldn't say fixed it, but
clicked the please consider me a person button that we all have to press.
I did that like 6 months ago, and then as soon as I started dropping the videos for the media tour, like within 2 hours, it got remonetized, and I was like, fucking YouTube.
Yeah, it sounds about right for them. That sounds about right.
They're like, oh shit, something that can make us money. Whoa.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Oh man, so that launch trailer, I don't know about you guys. The whole Square Enix E3 presentation was pretty exciting. I really didn't expect the launch trailer to come out of that. Normally, I think we don't get it until right around the actual launch, and instead they brought it on stage. They brought it on stage, I guess, to keep with the excitement of 7 Remake. They needed something else to like really bring the hype for that.
Well, the timing makes sense. It's only 2 weeks away until early access.
Yeah, so. I know. Yeah. That's like their on release day video. So I'm normally like watching it way later, but we got this one in a pretty timely manner. We still haven't gotten the music video, like the Dragon Song Revolution style music video yet, which is upsetting for me because I want it. That's all there's true. But I don't think anyone was ready for what is, I think, undoubtedly the best launch trailer that we've had of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically referring to the in-game cutscenes being used in the in-game footage, not stuff like End of an Era or, any of the major trailers. Specifically launch trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Slyh, I already know how he feels. I don't know how you feel. We haven't gotten to speak since it came out on Monday. So
there was so much to ponder over in the time, and then I guess a few of our questions just got answered like roughly 2 hours ago. So in before the live letter, it was a pretty high feeling. Like we were all like, a lot of us were, wait, what? What? That's basically like what I was saying at the end of the launch trailer. What? And then I just scribbled down a bunch of fucking notes, and that was it. So
that's okay. Now that's the simple. Oh my god, he's even. Oh, I mean,
mine's around somewhere.
Yeah. Is it full after earlier this week?
No, I'm not gonna desecrate that with notes.
With more stuff about the game in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you hate your own handwriting that much? I hate mine. No,
I'm gonna use that exclusively for my 14 ERP fan fiction.
All right. Yeah, that's a good call, because that way somebody finds Shadowbringers, they don't really know it's referring to a butthole. Anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
You went there first. You went there. You took it there first, man. That's
okay.
it.
All right. Okay.
All right, there you go. Yes. You may not want to put it in front of your face, Sly. It might stink. Anyway. So.
All right.
There you go. All right. Anyway, back on track for this show. So, Ethys, I know I already said you had a 2-hour video, and again, if anyone hasn't seen it, I've seen 30 minutes of it approximately, but I have not had the time.
Watch the whole damn thing.
You watched the whole thing? I've only been able to watch about 30 minutes total of like 10 minutes here, and then like skip through and like get to a point here, get to a point there.
All right.
So, summarize for everyone what the core emotion is throughout that 2 hours.
The core emotion? I mean, it was a real roller coaster. Like, when I first saw the trailer, I started with like, oh, what the fuck? This is ridiculous. How, like, this changes everything. And by the end of our 2-hour journey, I was like, you know what? This doesn't actually change anything, like, at all. Of course, we're referring to the big, the big reveal. If we assume that it's true, what Solus told us, that Hydaelyn and Zodiark are ultimately primals, it seems that at the end of the day,
does he have to lie?
Well, I don't know. Again, like, we don't really have a precedent for Ascians lying, but I don't think we can necessarily assume that he's telling the truth. But if we do, it doesn't actually really change anything. Like, if Hydaelyn is a primal, she doesn't act like other primals. She doesn't like try and get people to worship her and summon her. No one even really knew that she existed before ARR, in terms of like the people that actually matter. Like, people in Eorzea, generally they don't know about Hydaelyn. They don't know that she exists. They worship the 12. And like, a couple of people know, but she's not like, you need to summon me. She uses as little ether as she possibly can in like intervening with stuff. I think that if she is a primal, then she knows that her summoning and the summoning of Zodiark was what caused the sundering in the original, in the first place. It's what caused all these shards to split. And she's going to be a little bit more like Alexander, right? Where she knows that the best thing she can do is absolutely nothing, and let, people like the Warrior of Light kind of solve problems and just try and like communicate with them. So I think at the end of the day, a lot of people are thinking like, oh, we must be tempered. She must be evil and we're going to have to destroy her at some point. I don't think any of that is necessarily true. I don't think we are tempered, just because like she was always banging on about how important it is for people to, have like liberty and like freedom of choice and stuff like that. She doesn't care whether people worship her or not. She doesn't care whether people know she exists or not. So she has no reason to be tempering people. That doesn't seem to be her modus operandi. And at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything.
Well, again, let's start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zodiark and Hydaelyn were this one primordial being in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And from the cave paintings that we saw,
yes,
we saw that people,
yes,
it looked like people caused the sundering.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is, was this a division of beliefs, or was it strictly that, whatever this primordial being, do we even, like, we at this point don't even know what they were before they were Zodiark and Hydaelyn, correct?
Well, they didn't have a consciousness. It was probably just the crystal, or the crystal. It's equivalent, the planet, the star, the crystal, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
People were worshipping it as one being, and then there was some
Zodalin.
Yeah, well, it showed at the beginning. The second image was this one being with people sort of around the bottom, praying or worshipping or venerating in some way, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then the second was two different kinds of people. There were like some light people and some dark people.
Right.
And then the being splitting and this sort of starburst in the middle, which I think we could presume to represent the sundering. So there was some division in people's ideas of what this being was. Keep talking. I just someone's banging on the door.
That's fine.
I'll be back in like
That's
20 seconds.
That's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, just go. He can't hear us anymore. Yeah. So as you were saying, they the one being split, seeing some great nicknames for them in the chat. Hydiarch, Zodalin.
Hydiarch, Zodalin.
Someone just outright saying, Necron. Whatever. Just go full Final Fantasy 9 with it. Yeah, I mean, the core point that we're going for here is there was existence before them. We've never really considered existence before the Sundering as much of a discussion topic because we barely know anything about most of the eras after the Sundering to this point. Right. So who are these people that were just around back then?
Yeah, who are the people? And like, because of the whole division, my whole question is like, was it really worship or was it really fear?
I'd still like to think that worship is the key prospect of all of this.
I mean, there had to be a reason that like they sundered that primordial being.
There also has to be a reason they came into existence in the first. Like, it means that before the Sundering, people were brought into existence by something, probably by that consciousness or that being that had no consciousness that they split.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what was the exact quote? By worship was the will of the star made manifest.
Yeah.
So I think it was not conscious. Humans developed, however it is that they developed. And I think that what we think of as the first Umbral era, perhaps, or, something prior to that, the first conflict, basically, like, People don't need the Axians and don't need gods and anything like that to kind of go to war with each other and to have like opposition of opinion and opposition of belief. And the first time that happened, people started to have these different ideas of aspects of this god, and obviously resulted in some kind of attempt to channel them, to summon them, and that ultimately caused the Sundering.
I guess we have to question if this is a factual truth, but isn't it that the first Umbral era came about because mankind began to war and the gods specifically left? I mean, I think that's Eorzea's belief of it, but I guess we don't really know.
That's our myth, is that there was the time of the 12.
Yeah.
And then people started to war, so the 12 were like, fuck you guys, we're out.
Yeah.
So that could be consistent with what's happening here. The only problem is that we also understand that the first Umbral calamity also caused the first rejoining.
Yeah,
and it kind of caused the first rejoining if it caused the Sundering.
Right.
So if it caused the Sundering, then there's more shards left than we thought, and there's been less rejoinings than we thought. And a lot of the information, like 7 times have they succeeded. 7 times of, that's wrong. So I think it's going to be something before the first Umbral era, but it's going to be something that kind of like resembles the first Umbral era.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we thought up until now that the Sundering happened and then worlds coalesced and people, began to appear and produce. And we've got it all backwards. If Solus is right. And furthermore, if Solus is right, then Varys may well be right. As Varys was telling us, prior to the Sundering, there were only one people. There were this one, flawless human race. And then after the Sundering, they got split into all the different races with their, various flaws and weaknesses. So the whole premise for like Garlean fascism may be true as well. Again, that doesn't change anything for us, though, because we can admit that this is true. We can admit that Hydaelyn is a primal and Zodiark is a primal, and the rejoining is supposed to be like undoing all of that and bringing people back together. But the fact remains that it's going to kill billions of people and cause untold destruction, and that the ends don't justify the means. And that's where we come in, and that's what our position has already been to this point, and I don't think that changes.
It's a big thing that I've been thinking about since that is the light scent. I'm calling them light scent from now on, the Sin Eaters, just because void scent, light scent, I feel like the names kind of fix, are just better together. Has it ever been explicitly stated that void scent are creatures of Zodiark?
No, void scent are not creatures of Zodiark. Void scent are just creatures. They're people.
Yeah, they're people whose ether,
animals and whatever. Yeah, that basically got caught up in the flood of darkness.
Yeah, because I'm thinking to the Ascian, like the very first Ascian quest where they summon the void scent in that specific instance, and since that point, as much as we know that void scent kind of don't operate, I guess, exactly the same, they at the very least the Ascians see them as tools.
Yeah,
but the light scent, Hydaelyn doesn't see what we would generally affiliate as beings, I guess, affiliated with her just because they're affiliated with the light. They're no impact on her. She doesn't have any sort of, or wants no relation with them. So
no, they're exactly the same as void scent. They're just of a different polarity. Like you think of like our astral and umbral polarity. You could think of it as just like void scent are the umbral, light scent Sin Eaters are the astral.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's why they're calling them Sin Eaters as opposed to light scent, to make sure that people don't like conflate some relationship with the light and with Hydaelyn.
Right. Yeah, I'm just curious if we learn, I guess, more about that specific aspect throughout all of this. Because clearly light and dark are forces, and Hydaelyn and Zodiark are major polarities in that, but they're not the source of them. Is, I guess, the key thing.
We know that Sin Eaters must have appeared before now. Yeah. Whether on Novrant or on one of the other shards or even in Eorzea, because the Amdapori had knowledge of them.
Right.
And made golems in their simulacrum, right? And similarly, someone pointed out to me yesterday that the Necrohole of Murond, like, it looks like it's on Novrant. It's not, but it looks like it is.
Yeah.
And when you look at like the things that Ultima says, like, cleansing us in holy, light and all this kind of shit, and us like not being certain what kind of being Ultima is. I'm over here wondering if Ultima isn't some kind of primordial Sin Eater herself. Not from Novrant, not from the first, but from somewhere else that may have had this problem somewhere back in history.
It would make sense. The thing she does to people is pretty much what the void scent did to the 13th.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a feeling that a lot of things are more related now than we originally thought, because there's fucking elegance.
Well, we know that everything's connected. we know that. And the thing is, like, the couple of things that we've been able to identify in the game that don't seem to be connected to anything, they're going to be connected to Novrant.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't think 4.5 minutes could conflate so much confusion and discussion going into the next.
Just could have so much fucking information in it, it's crazy. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, what else have we got in there?
There's a few other things in there. Yeah, Sly, you've got better notes than I do. What do you got?
Yeah, at the beginning, when we saw the cave paintings and we saw one of the brothers, the Caravan brothers, which was a really good nod. He makes the joke, 100 years has this been since a dark night, which, dark night. Time.
Yes, this is important.
Time. 100 years. 100 years for them is 2 years for us.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're assuming that the scions have been they're called to the first, right? We're going on that.
I think after the live letter today, we're now more like a lot of people have discussed, and I think we can finally put the discussion to bed for anyone who was still thinking it. These are the same people. They are not the first. That's been a huge discussion, especially since fucking Caravan Bro showed up. They're like, oh, he's just the first equivalent of Caravan Bro. And I'm like, I think it's more symbolic than anything. And the two Minphilias in the trailer certainly didn't.
Yeah, it's just it's a reference.
Yeah, more than anything. So
how long are we saying the scions have been gone? Like recalled?
Well, I don't think that this relationship between time in Eorzea and time over there is like linear necessarily. All we know is that by the time we get there, it's been 100 years.
Right.
I think it's more about the process of traveling there for the first time that has that time compression effect than necessarily like time moving faster on the source. We don't know yet, but like I say, so I worked out that at most it's been 2 years on the source since Arbit and company first arrived on the source. And that's when the flood of light was first beginning. The scions have been over there for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe like a month.
If you're going okay, I kind of math it out a little bit. If the math retains true, we're going by a couple of weeks, then they been there for 2 years or 23 months roughly.
Okay, and I think that would make sense. I mean, we've got a couple of things we can grab onto there, like Thancred in Eulmore, implying that he'd been there before and that it's changed, not entirely for the better. We've got Alphino being maybe like a couple of inches taller, it seems.
He's definitely taller. No, he's definitely taller.
A little bit taller. He's a little bit taller. And, you know, like he's in the middle of Valazan puberty and like that could happen in a couple of weeks. But all the same, you know, it's something. And then, of course, you've got Urialge's house. Yeah, Urialge's got a sweet pad in Ilmeg and he's kind of collected a whole heap of shit in there. That's probably going to be the new Siren headquarters on Novirat. And I imagine that would have taken
what are we calling
a little while.
What are we going to call this one?
It's got a name.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it just have a name, doesn't it?
So let's see. We've got Waking Sands, Rising Stones. This can be.
We got Falling Snows was the joke that that was made about Ishgard.
Yeah, Falling Snows. That's another one. Falling. Generally, they're somewhat implied to be playing I guess kind of I don't know what the word is. They play to whatever's like happening in the story at the time. Like Waking is a Realm Reborn. You know, it's an awakening in a sense. Rising.
Well, it's also a reference to where it is.
Yeah, it is, but it's also every single name we've been given as a direct reference to kind of the situation. Falling Snows is after, you know, we've been framed and we're basically outlaws seeking refuge. They're all there. Sleeping Shadows.
Ebbing Waters.
Shadows.
Ebbing. I like Ebbing. And it's gotta be like water, or like moss or logs or something to do with like the Fae.
Yeah.
I like ebbing, like let's call it ebbing tides.
There you go. Ebbing tides. Sliding.
I mean, it does already have a name, so
yeah, we just don't remember what it is.
We just gave it a new name.
It's the ultimate of lore tours. Is
when we just make it up.
Is when we just make it up. we speculate, even though the answer's already there.
Yeah.
Much better. Okay. Where were we? We were talking about the flow of time. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So the Scions have been there for longer than they've been absent from the source. It might be a couple of months, it might be a couple of years, but they've been there for a little while.
Do we think that we're going to end up in such a state where we go and then story-wise, upon returning, some like bad shit's gone down with Varys?
I think so.
And we just come back to find that he's done some pretty...
Well, here's the
or do
thing.
you think they're going to like warrior, like, oh no, you're the warrior light. You're Heidelin's champion. You don't travel.
If it works for Lily, then us spending 100 years on Novrant would only be 2 years in Eorzea.
So it means it should be the equivalent of only seconds passing most of our time there.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. Like I say, I think it's more likely that they're going to explain that like traveling back and forth will have some time fuckery, but we're going to be traveling back and forth so much, like non-canonically perhaps, but we know that canonically at least we're able to travel back and forth. That's gameplay wise, they did say in the live letter that Novrant time and Eorzean time, there's no real conversion or difference.
Well, they're just doing that so you don't think you're not going to land over there and you're gathering. No.
I think there's a lore.
There is, because time doesn't. I mean, they literally said that every area, as we clear the areas, we're returning time and like basic elements to each and every zone. And Eden is us trying to restore it to everything that's already been lost.
I think like we don't need to overthink it. It's just like Novrant is a reflection of Eorzea. It's a like literally it's a reflection of Eorzea. But time might be the same, or at least our experience of time might be the same, but that doesn't mean it's like the same year or the same day.
Yeah.
The same whatever.
Yeah, it'd be impossible. Wouldn't work. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been gone for weeks or months at this point. I like somebody said maybe Minfilia planted when Minfilia sent the warriors of darkness back there, that she put smaller her there, and that she's grown in all the time that's actually been there since the time is actually like taking place at it's the way time works is different there, so she's aged that much since sending a portion of herself to the first.
So, okay, first of all, I think the reason that time is the same is because the Scions are just going around and changing all the clocks that they come across. They're like, no, that's not right.
Every microwave they go past, they're like, I don't know how to change the time on these things.
Yeah, exactly.
They just fucking unplug it and it just flashes 12.
Secondly, the thing with like new Minfilia or baby Minfilia or whatever, we know that the Ascians, right, or this is true of Void Scent as well. If they want to have like a permanent apparition in a certain realm, they need to possess a body, right? Like the Ascians can kind of get away with not having a body for like a limited time. It just kind of uses a lot of ether. So they need to possess someone, and they don't ask people to come willingly because they're fucking Ascians. My first thought was maybe Minfilia has found like a willing host, has found someone who has sort of like, I don't know, maybe had the echo, maybe already been a disciple of Heidelin in some way, and has sort of convinced them to let her kind of share that body.
Yeah. Possible.
I don't know like what the alternative would be, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just a real coincidence that it's someone that happens to look like, well, it doesn't look like her.
It kind of does. Like it doesn't look exactly like a Cilia
with blonde hair.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a Cilia, but it's like it's close enough.
Yeah.
Which just seems like an interesting coincidence.
No coincidences here. That's it. Yeah, I mean, something's going on, because in the trailer you can very clearly see Word of the Mother and Minfilia like looking at each other. So don't shake your head at me, Slyh. That's what everyone's been calling
fucking
her
hate
for,
that name.
Well,
for months
we can see that Word of the Mother showed up and did her cool magic and halted the flood of light. prevented it from destroying all of Novrant. And then presumably she didn't have any ether left to sustain her form. So she was like, hey, girl.
How you doing?
Come here.
Hey, girl.
Turn around. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah.
Oh, boy. That'll do.
She can't be Ninfilia. She's not a ninja. She's a rogue.
No, she's an Oracle of
The
Light.
Oracle of Light. Get it
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry.
Just like
I like that she's a rogue, though, because obviously that's Thancred training her, right?
I mean, he's a gunbreaker with Shikuchi. He's a dirty cheater anyway.
Yeah.
So they're all cheaters. Orion J's just like, I'm not gonna walk across that. I'm just teleport.
Fuck that. Yeah, I mean, we can't teleport. We try to follow him and we go straight down the hall.
Yeah, we try to ethereal because he ethereal manipulates the Thancred.
Yeah, we can't do that.
If we do that, we just fall straight down the fucking hole.
Yeah.
Dirty cheater. They're all NPCs always cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
Alphino with his carbuncles, even though he's a scholar, because he's a whatever the fuck. He's an academician. Yeah, he's an academician. There you go. He's a comedian.
Academician, is that what they call
I don't
him?
fucking know how it's pronounced. Is it?
Not an academic?
No.
Just an academician.
That's not a fucking word.
It is.
They made it up for him.
It's academician. Google it. I guarantee you it has a meaning.
That is such bullshit.
Yeah, we can't get a arithmetician.
Academician meaning an academic or intellectual, a member of an academy, especially of the Royal Academy of Arts, the Académie Française, or the Russian Academy of Sciences. There you go.
That's stupid.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, when it fed me the definition, it specifically says North American.
Ah, okay, all right. Well, there you go.
So it's
not
localized, man. There you go. It's what we call localization. Listen, it's all right. And so as long as he doesn't start telling Carbuncle to attack from the larboard side, we're okay. Yeah, that would be much worse. Okay. Now, something that actually we learned today is in that trailer where we were talking about the Zodiark and Hydaelyn portion, we learned today that's one of the dungeons that apparently they didn't consider enough of a spoiler, I guess because they put it in both the launch trailer and this, and I guess our true meaning behind it isn't really discernible at this point. It is one of the dungeons we're going to be visiting, which, by the way, I have a feeling you're going to have a fun time unpacking those dungeons, considering the way that they look. Yeah. Those looked ripe for some touring of lores. That cave, it's hard for me to discern, because that cave having those paintings on the wall and having that story being told there, I have a hard time thinking about how that would be figured out on the first, but we somehow haven't figured that shit out. We don't have anything similar on the source.
It all got destroyed.
Yeah, the first hasn't had calamities. They've had wars and like events and natural disasters and stuff like that, but they haven't had anything the scale like the earth opening up and swallowing all of civilization, like happened with the Allegans. We've got like references in the first lore book, which I think is really cool when it's talking about the first astral era. It's like, all we have is like a couple of, little scrappy remnants of cave paintings and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit. But every time there's a calamity, most of history, written and recorded or otherwise, gets completely lost. And we spend most of the subsequent astral era basically just trying to find out about the previous era. And then it happens all over again. Whereas it seems like history doesn't get so completely lost on the shards. I mean, when we're like touring around Lakeland and Eulmore, there's a lot of ancient ruins with names like, Church of the First Light, Temple of the First Darkness. It seems that this cult of like light and darkness and their dichotomy and this sort of like first ancient religion that produced the Sundering, that resulted in the Sundering, there's still remnants of it, at least on Novrant, if not on the other shards, and that's really cool. So I think simply the fact of the calamities and the fact of this, I guess, switch from like umbral to astral, which doesn't really happen on the shards, is enough to explain why they would have knowledge of history that we don't.
And it also seems they care on top of all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even with history being rewritten, I mean, we've managed to find and discover things from previous. Just the idea that on the source, we've never found, or maybe we have and we just aren't thinking about it hard enough, something that references back to this first era at all, even with world being swallowed by water, being burst into flames. We've discovered a lot of other things at this point, and I feel like the Alligans were early enough. They probably would have figured some shit out that we would have found. So, I don't know.
Well, the Alligans did their best to record everything, don't they?
Well, yeah, but they record everything from their era, but you'd like to believe they'd have recorded stuff from previous eras.
At the time of Alec, people were already worshipping the 12 or some form of the 12. Whereas on Novrant, from what I've seen exploring the zones that we had access to, there is absolutely no evidence of 12 worship. So it seems like they still might worship light and darkness in these kind of more primordial states. And it would make sense that they've kind of preserved more of that.
And that's the people who worship the light. I mean, I guess, yeah, we do have the Dalamud children, but even before that, there was another one that I can't think of right now. I can't remember. The Lambs of Dalamud. No, there's something else I'm thinking of other than the Lambs, but it looks like just, I guess, the light worship kind of just dominated on the source versus the worship of darkness, I suppose.
Yeah, it just seems that, like, rather than having this idea of the 12, or rather than inventing newer religions, it seems that on Novrant, they've kind of retained this light and dark worship.
Okay.
So they're much more in touch, I guess, culturally with that time than we are.
Okay. I accept it. Are there any other major lore drops in that video? There's a lot to unpack if you go frame by frame. Like, there's, of course, discussing Eulmore and what appear to be Sin Eaters essentially running it to some degree.
Yeah, well, what's happening in Eulmore is they're coexisting with the Sin Eaters.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought that they were just like sitting there having a party and like waiting for the Sin Eaters to move in and kill them all. Seems like it's not that simple. It seems like they feed the Sin Eaters. The Sin Eaters allow them to basically keep their city and survive, provided that they keep feeding them basically fresh victims. So the people down in the slums, it seems like they get invited upstairs to Eulmore. It's like, congratulations, you've won the lottery. Come up to our palace. And they get fed to the Sin Eaters.
And then
so it's kind of like a pact of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know that civilizations have had pacts with Void Sent before that have taken like similar forms. They're usually a little bit more coercive. But generally it's like, yeah, we summon you to the source and you get to stay here and feed on ether, and we will basically point you in the direction of our enemies that you can consume to sustain yourselves. Very, very similar.
I wonder the other guy, what was his name? I already forgot because it was at the end of the live letter.
Ranjit.
Yeah, Ranjit.
His name was. Yeah. What do we think of him? Is he a baddie?
He's got to be. Who is he fighting in the launch trailer? Thancred?
He's fighting Thancred.
Yeah,
he's fighting Thancred. I don't think he's a baddie. I think that was more of like a training type situation than anything.
I mean, it kind of looked that way. It's in the.
Yeah,
they're fighting in Lakeland. They're fighting in Lakeland in one of the like Crystal Alliance strongholds.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's him that's fighting Y'shtola as well. When Y'shtola's doing her barrier, and you see like a figure like charging towards her, it seems to be him as well.
I don't know. I had a really, because we had no clue who he was before today, And I had like this really off base guess that like, and of course it was wrong. I thought he was fucking Zangan for some reason. Like they would include Zangan.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, new person.
I mean, he looks evil.
No, I don't think
like his design. His design. He looks evil.
Like,
dude, it's Ornstein and Smo. Just come on.
The scar and like the dark, sunken eyes, and he just looks evil.
Yeah, I don't
say like Master Asian.
I have to listen to that section of the live letter. It just happened like they went through some of the character sections really slow, and then the disconnect happened. Like their stream went down on Twitch, and then they came back, and they were just kind of like going through it. And then I didn't get all of the whatever they said exactly about Ranjit. I think we can tell at least
too much.
They didn't
say too much about Ranjit or Vauthry because he was pictured with Vauthry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vauthry's definitely some bad shit going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's the most gluttonous of the Sin Eaters from what we can see right now, at least in terms of
I don't know if
Eulmore.
he is a Sin Eater.
Well, I guess more specifically, I think because you see him wielding some sort of magic that looks to be light aspected. So if he's not a Sin Eater, he's certainly gotten something out of this arrangement.
Yeah, he's a human. I think maybe he's kind of like who was it? What was their name in Mark that was basically drinking void sent blood to transform?
One of the bosses of Mark?
Are you talking about Califasteri?
It was Califasteri. Yeah. So Califasteri
I didn't know because you kept saying she, and I'm like, only one I could think of is Califasteri, and chat started saying it.
That's
so
right.
Like,
yeah. Califasteri was a Marky mage that was basically drinking void sent blood and became, what she is. Maybe something similar is going on with Vauthry.
Okay. I get behind that because he's clearly got he's just got Sin Eaters chilling in his room. He's like, yeah, these are my that's Sin Eater version of Halicarnassus. That's Sin Eater lion dude.
Chat saying that they said Ranjit was also from Eulmore. I didn't catch that, but if that's true, then that definitely gives more credit to him being a baddie.
I feel like he's just like a Vauthry's enforcer, in a sense. Like he's probably equal to him in power, but he's like more, down there fighting and shit like that. You know? I mean, he could be from Eulmore, and he could be from the slums too. You got to remember,
he could be.
He could be
champion of the people.
Yeah, he could be a champion of the slums. He could be from Eulmore and not be bad.
Speaking on that, one other thing we saw were the I guess women, or I think it was just women, but they were in harlequined outfits. Are we thinking that's some kind of resistance, maybe?
I think that's more like the Eulmore secret police. I kind of got that vibe, is that they're probably the ones that are, kidnapping and harvesting people for the Sin Eaters.
Yeah, they're just, when someone's dressed that festive at the end of the world, you don't trust them.
I don't think they're the resistance, no.
I'd sooner believe the some of the innocents you see become Sin Eaters. If there was a resistance, it'd be those people, not the ones who are like in the Eulmore slums.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. Harlequin show up at your door. That's it. They're the ones that invite you up. Zorn and Thorn. There you go.
Yeah.
Every duo of characters just gets called Zorn and Thorn now. The two Garleans are Zorn and Thorn. These two are Zorn and Thorn. Mr. J.
Yeah.
Mr. J.
Mr. J put on some fucking weight. If that's the case, he painted his whole belly while he was at it. Oh God, I don't know how many times I've even watched that trailer, but not enough is the answer. I was surprised to see them finally show any sort of, I guess, anything of innocence. We've been pretty much shrouded completely in mystery.
Yeah, all right. Let's talk about that. It looks like they're fighting innocents at the top of Crystal Tower. And
yeah, so another thing is the dungeon walkthrough shows the dungeon, the 60, what we can assume is the level 77 dungeon. We're presuming, of course, that it's going to be a 77 dungeon that leads immediately into the events of fighting Innocents. Because you can see at the very end of that dungeon is the arena where you see in the launch trailer where you're fighting Innocents. So I'm wondering what the hell that whole thing is. It doesn't look like the Crystal Tower up to that point, but then like in the dungeon it just kind of transforms into this palace of light that's completely different.
We see basically a city on fire. That it's the Crystarium. It's absolutely the Crystarium. The Crystarium's on fire in one of those shots. And then, like I say, where we fight Innocents, it looks like the top of the Crystal Tower. And immediately behind Innocents is a big like gateway.
Yeah.
And
stairway down.
My theory, my idea is that Innocents is kind of making a play for Circus Tower, is trying to like fight the way through to there so that they can reach the portal and spread the flood of light to the source, to other shards. And that's going to be one of the, I guess, the big kind of climaxes is preventing that from happening.
So are we thinking that his aims align with Solace's or Emmett Selk's?
I don't know. It seems like Emmett Selk wants there to be a flood of light in the source, and that maybe that'll just trigger a calamity.
Yeah, because it's no good to him if the first gets consumed, because the 13th is unrejoinable, and if the first goes too, then that's, you know, he's just losing shards because they're they can't. So this is still in his best interest to actually be, you know, trying to save the first to some degree, so it can eventually just fucking rejoin us. But we still have this huge question of Black Rose and the light ether seeping in. We still don't know what the impact any of that has at all is, or how to even discern it. So maybe he does want it to seep in, but he doesn't want it to take over. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like redirecting the Sin Eaters to the source would be enough to both prevent Novrant from being consumed and also to trigger a calamity on the source. Maybe. There's
so many elements. It feels like the three characters that we left Stormblood on, I'd say the three most important ones, and then we have a fourth one that I've solved the most questions about. We had Elidibus, who seemed to be acting a lot more like a La Habrea than kind of what we've been led to with him, where he always wants rejoinings, but he feels like he's playing less the messenger, like big time now. Then you have Emmett Selk, who seems to be the level need to make sure everything is balanced and, you know, but still want rejoinings kind of situation. That's if we're assuming he actually doesn't want the first to be consumed with light for the reason of all that. Like, Elidibus is always talking about balance of light and darkness, and Emmett Selk at the very least is displaying an interest in preventing the first from potentially being consumed by light for what would be a reason I'd assume Elidibus would normally want that. And then you have Varys, who just doesn't give a shit and has his own plan going on. And he's just like, I'm gonna fucking beat all these Ascians in my own way. There's just all these three characters that were like, they were in the same room, although Solace was hiding in the back at one point. They're just doing their own thing. They're just all in these different directions, and I don't know who the fuck belongs where or why or anything like that.
I'm more interested in this Gaius Estinien going on.
Yeah. And the Heavensward, the journal that was written by the head of House Fortemps. That's the Heavensward journal.
Question. It's a Heavensward journal.
It's the journal that he was writing throughout all of our like Dragon Song.
Was it the exact Heavensward journal?
Because he says the journal is called Heavensward. Like he names the journal Heavensward.
No, that journal that was pictured in the trailer.
Yes, it's the same one.
Something different.
No, it says Heavensward. It's even got the Heavensward logo on it, I think. Yeah,
it does. It's the same journal, and it's Estinien's hand that we see in frame.
Yeah, so there's a million questions there because I'm glad to have Estinien being a bro, but him and Gaius is not a fucking alliance I would have ever put forward.
I mean, it's the Ascians. The Ascians fucked Estinien.
Everyone fucks Estinien.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it would stand to reason, like, it's absolutely like Estinien's MO to like go off rogue, like hunting Ascians.
I mean, he doesn't really have a purpose anymore now that Nidhogg's eyes are like gone. He needs a purpose at this point. So the next best thing would be the people who use them, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he talked about that in his Tale from the Storm a little bit, that like he was going to have to find like a grander purpose.
Yeah.
And Yoshida said before that like he's basically a scion at this point. Yeah. So I think that he and Gaius are going hunting, which is fucking awesome. It's so cool.
And then we still got fucking Elazinos, who's just out. Like, there's so many pieces. I don't know where they fucking fit. Like, I can't even like begin to place them in anything at all. And even if they are going hunting Ascians, what do they need the 4-tom journal for? What does he need that for? Does he need to like?
He probably doesn't need it. But I'd say maybe Ed Mont has died or something, and it's like a maybe. I think
I can't lose 2 4-toms. I can't lose 2.
Really?
I think it's just going to be like Estinian reflecting and being like, this is where I've been and this is where I have to go to, you know?
Yeah, maybe he's just listening to Totally Not Grahatia because he chopped off his ears and he needs to unwrite tail. He needs to unwrite history.
He chopped off his tail as well.
Yeah, and his tail.
Just shatter. They probably just.
That's what I said. If it is Graha, which we're still not 100%, we're not. You know, we can't. It's like she's like Shadowhunter, you know. Although Shadowhunter was more definitely Gaius. Yeah.
The first thing is so like his tail, like it probably turned into crystal and shattered off. So like he would have lost that and his ears and like his toes and his penis. That would have been the first to go.
Yeah, you know, when you mentioned shattering off, I was like. I have a feeling I know exactly where this is going.
Yeah, well, I mean, what other reason has he got for not having his ears and his tail?
Yeah, no, that's where you could have stopped.
Yeah. And also his penis.
Yeah, and that's the journal. Remember what the journal's for. He wrote that. He's actually reading out of his journal. The notes he mentioned at the beginning, he's actually reading directly from that.
It's actually gonna be like a drop from the final dungeon, like Wirt's leg.
Is that what is that what the Blades of Innocence are? The housing item that they teased? Is that it?
He's never gonna be Grandun.
That's way too lore in depth of a fucking thing to say. That's a way too lore in depth joke.
That is such a nerdy joke. I fucking love that Lenology.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know you do. I know you do.
Oh fuck.
Sly's like, I'm still up for this. Sly, you're muted.
I couldn't stop this shit if I could tried. Sorry, Jay. No. I wish I could. So
yeah,
that was good. That was a really good joke.
Yeah.
Oof.
Anything else besides those things? I mean, the only other thing we saw was he's still going. The only other thing we saw for a brief second was Eden.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if you remember the summons from 8, that's part of Eternal Breath. So are we stopping the Eternal Breath? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, we still haven't really discerned what Eden actually is. Like, we don't know if Eden is a Sin Eater. We don't know if, like, the Sin Eater that's, like, actually been... Like, for all we know, Eden could be this giant, essentially moving Sin Eater fortress. Not, like, an actual fortress, but, like, in size. That is mostly responsible for absorbing the elements out of the world.
Yeah.
Or they could be a tool through which we need to... You know, the Eden's not bad, and we're using an Eden's like being enabled here. Because Eden looks mostly like just shit out of luck based on what we saw today, just buried out in the light.
I mean, but that was a part of like that scene. That little shot was a part of Eternal Breath, and Eternal Breath is like pretty fucking menacing when you think about it as a summon attack. So is Eden really on our side?
I mean, an Eternal Breath, it depends on how you want to interpret it.
Can you give us the context of Eternal Breath in 8 for those of us who don't know?
It's a fucking summon animation that takes way too long.
Yeah, it takes maybe 2 minutes, and in the end, it's like you see the shot of the planet, and then like it fires something, and then like this. It's fucking. I don't know how to describe it. Some like this. It looks like a comet or like a nova or something is being pulled. Like you'd have to watch it.
Yeah, I've seen the animation. I just mean, like, is there any story context for this in 8 that people?
No, there's no story context. It's just like it. That's the only thing we have to go off because that's from the summon.
Hey, thanks, Unholy Bahamut on YouTube for what we're about to watch, because that's the clip I'm using. That person is the source here, or the first. I guess depends on how you want to look at it. I just need to actually get it going.
Fucking terrible joke. God damn it.
Listen, that one was too easy, and you know it was. All right, that one was too easy. All right, so we've got a turnover. So this video is 1 minute and 40 seconds long, and it looks like shit because it's from Final Fantasy VIII, the original. What the fuck is this? It's not even doing anything. It's just shaking. All right, I unthank you, Unholy Bahamut. I unthank you. There we go.
I just feel like it needs to be mentioned that Vauthry isn't doing this.
Yeah.
Because the shot immediately before is like Vauthry starting to do some magic, and then we see Eden, and it's like, no, that's not Vauthry. That's just a very misleading cut.
That's why the animation takes so long, because it fucking freezes. By the way, spoiler, they're using this on Griever. I think that's Griever Ultimecia. It's only, like the second to last boss of the game. Look at this fucking platform.
I mean, by the looks of it, it kind of looks like Sin Eater-ish thematically. The platform, the whatever the fuck it is. So maybe you're on the money there with the idea that maybe it's like a Sin Eater fortress or like the thing, the place, whatever that's spawning the Sin Eaters. Yeah, that is the sign from the trailer. That's the point that we're making. It's like exactly the same shot from the trailer.
Aloha, don't you fucking sit on my...
And then that's what's being pulled.
Yeah.
So
okay.
There.
Wow, okay. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a lot of build up for fucking nothing, I'll be honest.
So yeah, it was like this big ball of darkness that was coming out of a space butthole, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it is good.
That sentence didn't work the way you wanted it to, I don't think.
No, it worked exactly like I wanted to. It's this big ball of darkness. We're trying to return darkness, maybe
from a space butthole.
From a space butthole. Maybe it's good.
Still doesn't. There's a part in there you keep.
What?
Never mind.
The big, like, black ball of darkness? Is that the problem?
Shadowbringers. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So, I can't. When we know the affiliation of Eden to the Sin Eaters versus not to the Sin Eaters, I don't think I can really draw a conclusion as to what we're even remotely seeing. All we can recognize is that Eden's animation is in that, and will probably be a part of the first animation that we see amongst like Eden stuff, like the early Eden cutscenes. I suppose that's about all I can get out of that. That's it. Shoots the enemy into the sun of a nearby galaxy.
Oh.
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Causing a supernova at point blank range.
No overkill there.
No, not at all. And it's less damage than Lionheart, by the way. Just wanted to say it breaks the damage limit, but not well enough.
You may have supernova, but do you have gun?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, you've described it accurately, I suppose. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fantastic, though. All right, I think with that, we've covered at least the most basic elements of the trailer without diving in scene by scene and trying to like dissect every little bit. But if you want more discussion about it, as much as there's a shit ton of sub notifications in it, don't forget about Ethys's 2-hour-long YouTube video, everyone.
Yeah.
And in case you're watching on YouTube, there's always a link to like Twitter and Twitch and stuff like that for everybody. So
there is a shitload of sub notifications though.
Yeah, there are.
Fucking YouTube comments, man.
There you go. It's okay though because he speaks between them. It's all right.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't get through all 2 hours, by the way. That's why I said I watched 30 minutes skipping around. That's why.
Fair enough. Well, it was after a bit of a hiatus as well, so I was getting like all my resubs and shit. Yeah, I wasn't planning on putting on YouTube, but people afterwards were like, "This, you need to discuss this on YouTube," and I was like, "How about I just upload this?"
Dude, I know that life. Trust me.
I don't think I've ever wanted a Victoria Bitters so bad after watching something.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I need a sponsorship from them, I reckon, at this point.
Perfect. Make it happen. Somebody else make that happen because I can't. So I just want it to happen. All right. Other than that, we did have the live letter today, as much as it's hard to stop talking about that trailer. Live letter did come out today, and there wasn't. I think we kind of expected it to be a little bit lighter. At least it couldn't have been about the meatiest things. Like you can't go from the live letter that we had from the media tour to the next live letter and expect it to get much meatier than the one prior. But it was still pretty girthy.
Yeah, there's still a lot of substance and a lot of good quality of life. I wasn't expecting this much quality of life in one fucking live.
Yeah, there were some things. Are you smiling because I used the word girthy? Is that why you were smiling? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I had a feeling. I was about to comment on it and you stopped smiling.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Between the dungeon walkthrough that they started with and the dungeons all looking phenomenal and Soken reminding everyone that he doesn't just remix other themes like he had to for most of Omega. And for Evilise, he's like, hey, I remember I made all the other shit that wasn't like remasters or remixes. Don't fucking forget it. On top of that, dude, there's just so much quality of life. The crafting and gathering thing I was blown away by.
Bro. Oh my God. Like seriously.
Yeah, that was really cool, wasn't it? I really like particularly the UI stuff for crafters. And the fact that, well, for crafting and gathering, both like all this stuff that we have to have, like, you know, several kind of tabs open in Chrome or whatever to be able to work out. It's just in game now. And it's going to make crafting and gathering like a lot more approachable to people because having to do all that research and all that, you know, shit is kind of a huge turnoff for a lot of people.
Yeah. Dude, all the effects being on, the exact progress that you'll earn at base efficiency. And
yeah, that's so nice. Like, I think this is going to be enough to get me back into crafting, honestly. And I haven't really crafted since ARR.
I straight up saw that and I was like, here's my emotions. I saw all that stuff and I was like, yo, I think I might craft for real, not just like wait for beast tribes and do all that. Because I was like, yo, I need to level them for melding my own materia anyway. And then they said they were announcing the spam request thing for materia. I was like, all right, fuck it. I don't need to level it. I just level 70 is enough to repair. And now I can spam request materia anyway. So it's up in the air, but I certainly want some of that stuff. They also made some of the most basic like Omni crafting stuff, Steady Hand 2 and Byergots. Those are available on everything. All the like brand of bullshit things are gone. Yeah, all of those are gone. So but at the same time, we can't ignore that we still have the Ishgardian restoration. We'll probably end up talking about this a lot more on Tuesday, but there were a bunch of JP media outlets who got to do interviews with Yoshida, and Ishgard came up as a pretty major topic there. And I'm curious how the hardcore crafters feel about some of these changes, which are meant to lower the barriers for entry more than anything, versus how they feel that will play into Ishgard progression if more people will be kind of vying for that top spot come Ishgard.
I think hardcore crafters are going to be kind of salty about a lot of these changes because, again, like the reason you make money as a crafter is because it's not approachable. And this is going to kind of like dilute profits for a lot of people.
But the market will be good. I
Yeah,
mean, there's
the
nothing
market
wrong.
would be great.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bit of competition.
No, but I'm just saying, like the super hardcore crafters that are making billions of guild, like making things that no one else can be asked to make. Yeah, they're going to be real mad.
They're also already rich.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I got a bit of a head start.
Oh, great! I need to get my other billion for fucking Shadowbringers.
Yay!
Please.
Hi, Ash.
Hi. Love you.
Love you, Ash. I guess the other thing is just that Ishgard has now been described as a more competitive crafting element, or having a competitive crafting element to it. So I wonder if that still grants them the more competitive nature in a sense. For anyone who missed it, we will talk about it more on Tuesday, but it was revealed that Ishgard will have a leaderboard, a seasonal leaderboard for contributors, and that a top contributor gets a very special prize in the set season. Wow. And they then have no longer have a need to be a top contributor.
So it's going to be like the feast.
Money?
No, they literally described it like a feast season ladder. That was literally the parallel that they drew.
That is wild.
Yeah.
What's the top prize? A mountain of money?
They won't say, but they said once you've earned it, you never need to earn it again. It's the same for every.
It won't
every
be
top
contributor. Could you imagine? It's like, congratulations, here's some gil. The crafter's like, what am I?
You get first dibs on a house. When Ishgard House comes out, you get first fucking dibs.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. That's fucked up. That's fucked up, man.
It's gonna be like a special crafting glamour or mount or something.
They said there's like unique tools for people who place highly and who contribute a lot. They said that apparently when the restoration's complete, there's also an Ishgard starts holding holiday. They start holding special celebrations,
seasonal events.
Yeah, like
cool.
like seasonal events in Ishgard that have their own unique set of rewards and stuff like that as well. They also said they're gonna tie the diadem to Ishgard restoration.
Yeah.
They confirmed it. They said they will be reworking the diadem and tying.
I mean, I guess it makes sense given that the diadem is in the Sea of Clouds and like, I mean, well, gatherers were way into the diadem.
That's like the one thing the diadem was universally accepted for was gathering materials.
And the thing is, like, what are they just gonna delete the diadem? They might as well use it.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Aloha apparently did a bad thing, and I know exactly what he did and where he did it. Because I can smell it. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I know exactly that. It's on the mat. It's on the mat at least. It's not bad.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's Aloha for you. That'll be great. I can't wait to eat after this.
I reckon you did it and you're just blaming it on him.
She's the one who pointed it out to me in the chat.
Oh, well, Mel did it and then she's just blaming Aloha.
Yeah, she did just get home. Kind of a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
True.
Yeah. I'm curious how more hardcore crafters feel, because it's like the one raiders just want people to play well for their end game. Crafters are like, no, stop fucking letting them all in. I need to make some money. So we have to bring on we probably have to bring on Ash to get a real discussion about that. What else was there? Sly?
Yeah, speaking of crafters and gatherers, the sets. Did you it may just be me, but did you think that shit was kind of plain?
Well, I mean, the culinarian one is literally I don't know how many different ways.
Oh, look, it's a botanist that looks like a fucking botanist. Oh, look, it's a miner.
What do you want them to look like?
I mean, the one that stood out was Weaver. Weaver looked dappy as fuck.
Yeah, but it still looks very like homogenous with previous Weaver AF.
Yeah. Like at least try to
coat and the top hat. It's kind of the same.
Listen, but you get a frying pan that looks like a Spriggan.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Oh boy!
Listen, it's better than the Tonberry knife you can't ever fucking see.
That's true.
That stings for some people, and not
That's
in
true.
a doinky kind of way.
Yeah, I don't know like how much you can really do with Crafter AF.
Yeah, Weavers just they look dapper every time because they make clothes and shit.
They make their own clothes.
Yeah, and then Culinarians look like a chef every time.
Botanist looks like a goddamn farmer.
Yeah.
Miner looks like a miner. Fisher looks like going fishing.
Yeah, like what do you want him to look like?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I get what you're saying. Like, they could just be cooler.
It don't look special.
Yeah.
I mean, my only problem is that the armor has got that big, like, open shirt. And I'm like, man, that's some OH&S issues right there. Like, you're going to be getting burns all over your chest. Fuck that. No, they need to have like a leather thing protecting their chest and neck. It's ridiculous.
The true burn savage.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, but when they highlighted like, hey, new disciples of the hand land armor. Like, I'm thinking like something special, but it's just more the same. Even some of the early ones look better, in all honesty. So
No, my favorite thing that they presented was probably the log. Like, they put the log down outside the house, and then they pulled up concept art of the fallen tree, and I lost it. I was like, that was okay. No, that was my second favorite moment. My first favorite moment was the Pepe outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm literally clipping my reaction to the frog suit and just putting that on YouTube on its own.
That is some rare Pepes right there.
Dude, there's literally one of the mounts is the Pepe Bot 9000 anyway.
What? I didn't see that.
The frog robot mount?
No, I didn't see it.
And their little words it would be difficult to obtain.
Yeah, it's probably from the new treasure map dungeon, because the treasure map dungeon has a naming convention that... What?
Oh shit, what up?
What?
So the dungeon's gonna be, the treasure map dungeon's gonna be like Fua related, I guess.
Yeah.
If we're getting frog suits and shit. That's awesome. That would be really cool.
Yeah, because we had Matanga for this. What would you say, I guess, is the core of Aquapolis? Is that just like generic? I don't remember. I don't think there's really like a representative.
Well, it was still there. I don't know.
I guess there wasn't really sewers.
Yeah. Sewer water, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I guess, sure. Yeah, that would make sense. The frog outfit and the frog mount to come from. Be the first time we have a mount from a treasure dungeon, if that is the case.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah, we only have minions from all the other ones. Aquapolis, I guess, is a mix of the Namazu. I'd say the Matanga is the core theme. The Namazu are certainly there, but the Matanga, literally the prince of Uznair is the fucking Matanga. And I got him for the first time the other day. The Silver Prince, finally. After almost 200 maps. Saw him once. Thanks for the 100k gil, asshole. Yeah, that's what he gave us. And some loot. So I got 4 hedgehoglets from the fucking plus minus, the fucking higher lower minigame. It's a good time. That's a good time. Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be a lot of Fwa themed stuff for the treasure dungeon. So please look forward to all the Pepes.
Oh shit, what up?
I've got one of La Habrea on the unicycle. Yeah, it's a really old one. I don't remember. It's an oh shit what up meme, but with La Habrea. And I don't remember why I have it, but I could certainly find it and share it with the world. I don't know if the world is interested in it. I actually don't know where I put it. It's somewhere in this file, but there's a ton of meme pictures in this file. that I actually don't know how to find anything in this folder. You're not a professional if you don't have a meme folder.
That's true. That's true.
There's way too many in here.
I don't have a meme folder, but there's memes in all of my folders. So,
like, I've got a random Soken face in here. Just like,
yeah.
I told someone to make an emote of it, and I just have that face. Like, if you look, I just have a picture. I just have that face in that folder for no particular reason. I just have it.
Is that Hap Chicken Tenders?
Yes, that's the chicken tender one where he was talking about the chicken tenders, and he that was the face he made when someone mentioned chicken tenders. And I just have
that's a particular reason. There you go.
But why do I have it in a folder next to a picture of Kevin Hart with the rocks, Kevin Hart's head on the rock's body is another question altogether, I suppose. Anyway.
Damn, it doesn't work.
That's way too long. Why would that work?
I don't know.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, I suppose. If you really want it to be. What else, man? There was a lot, but like it felt like it like blew through, I suppose. What they talked.
After that we got what?
Oh, hunts. Yeah.
Yes, hunts.
Oh, hunts for cunts. Nice.
Yeah. I have a funny story to tell you, Ethys.
Oh, yeah?
I have a great story. I was in a Labyrinth of the Ancients, and somebody was yelling at...
Sorry, I thought that was the story. Go on, please.
And somebody was yelling at the tanks to stop moving the boss. I mean, to be fair, all these things are funny to your average duty finder.
Yeah.
And somebody said no because they're all being cunts. And then someone's like, that guy must be Australian because they love using that word. And someone's like, yeah, the Americans love using the B word instead. And somebody replied, bunt? And I couldn't help but start laughing. And I'm glad you find this infinitely more entertaining as an Australian who loves...
Oh, fucking bunts, man.
I was like, this base. I guess Americans would say, baseball and stuff, I guess, and cake.
Yeah.
But bunt cake is a D, and there was no D in this bunt, which is a really weird sentence to say out loud when you consider the origin of the word.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, you made me think of that story. I've been meaning to tell you that story for like ever. Now,
cool story.
Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anyway, where were we? We were talking about the hunts, right?
Hunts. B ranks are easier to find. S ranks spawned. Like they both leave messages.
So now you basically have what is the equivalent of a compass like message on the screen that tells you where the B ranks are. Then also, if an S rank spawns without telling you the location, you get a message on the screen, so you know whatever you're doing has actually spawned them without an ACT trigger, which is what all the hardcore hunters were already using. I'm both in love with this feature and very afraid for this feature.
Why?
Because let me tell you that those Realm Reborn hunts are already soloable. And a message for a bot on a screen is enough to get them. There's already tons of hunt bots for a lot of zones ever since they did the world visit thing. It's gonna get a lot worse.
I tried to do the the Ilmeg A rank, one of the Ilmeg A ranks, and we had like 10 people, and it took us like 10 minutes to get it down to 30%.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the beginning of the expansion. That's how it was the beginning of Stormblood too.
But I don't think bots are going to be able to solo the A ranks.
Not in the Shadowbringers areas, they won't. They didn't say that feature was exclusive to Shadowbringers areas. They just
okay.
Yeah.
So ARR areas.
Yeah, we're not worried about them B ranks or the other. We're worried about them older areas.
Did they mention whether or not it was going to? I mean, I assume that they will apply it to older zones. It would make sense.
They didn't say one way or the other. So we're gonna assume it's everything. Yeah, I've asked now, like in 4 interviews with Yoshida, if he can please raise the health on at least the health of some of the older hunts, and he's like, no. It's old content now. That's it.
Okay.
I would really like that to happen now more than ever, please. Because I'm very concerned. As someone who has participated in S rank spawning and seen bots walk up and be like, hey, I'm just, part of me is not as thrilled, but also am really glad that they are doing it at the same time. It's weird. It's a very big conflict I have inside of me right now. That's just slap some zeros on that bitch. That's it. That's all we need. Bigger thing for me was Centurio Seals going up to 4,000.
Yep.
Fucking sick of spending those things, man. You ever been in the middle of a hunt train? You have a few hundred left over from like a day prior, and you get to like the last 2 or 3 hunts. You're like, sorry guys, gotta go back to Ralgers and spend these on grade 6 materia or fucking anything to clear out some space. I ain't gotta worry about that shit.
Ain't the right tickets, bruh.
Yeah, I spend my allied seals. I've got like thousands of those.
Jeez.
I have like just about 1,000 grade 6 materia.
Why are you still doing the ARR hunts then?
Someone called them out.
Yeah, all right. Then why do you care if the bots are killing them?
Listen, I'm never gonna get the Centurio Tiger with that attitude. Although I can apparently just get the Gunbreaker mount now, and I can get Diego from Ice Age.
Yeah.
And apparently the higher tier version has armor. I think they said.
It does.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, but yeah, peerless books, ventures. I don't do that, but that's another thing. The fucking retainer menu.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? All the retainer changes.
Dude, all the menu updates. And they said they like did 3 to 4 times more quality of life adjustments going into Shadowbringers that they just don't have time to go over in the live letter. And now I'm like, did I miss things at the media? Like, I saw the achievement thing at the media tour, but I'm trying to think how many things.
No, that wasn't. They didn't have that.
They had the wish list.
They had, yeah, and that was it.
Yeah,
I think. Am I the only one that was thinking like during this part of the live letter how fucking excited Brian's gonna be?
Yeah, probably.
Brian's like, UI changes. Whoa.
Oh man. No new tank mounts for the old jobs? I don't know. Do they need new tank mounts? I don't know if they do.
I don't think they do.
I think people are going to just keep asking for healer mounts eventually if they keep doing new tank mounts. Just a tank for the new mount. It's probably as far as you're going to get with that one.
One thing we kind of skipped over, the new tomes. Goetia and Phantasmagoria.
Dude, am I playing Final Fantasy 14 or Tales?
No, well, both of the words have something to do with summoning or summoning, conjuring demons or apparitions.
Well, one of them's literally imagination.
Yeah, Phantasmagoria is dreams or imagination.
Yeah,
Goetia is summoning or conjuring.
So are you imagining that the Alligans had knowledge of Sin Eaters?
Possibly. Hi, Aloha.
I mean, we know that they dealt with Void Sen a lot. Maybe that knowledge is going to have some bearing on helping deal with the Sin Eaters.
Sin Eaters, yeah.
Maybe. It's possible. Are you fucking coming up here? Of course you are. Aloha. Come on now.
Yeah, I just love the names. I just love the name. Good names.
Good names. That's it.
Yeah. Good names. Yeah. Summoning. Even summoning. Yeah.
Stop trying to
and then of course, crafters, we have our new color script, and it is white.
You know how many people in my chat said that's racist?
Okay. All right. No. Like the live letter after the media tour, the dark skin, light skin.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's racist.
Terrible. Well, my first thought was like, you're doing this backwards. Why? You've already got dark mode. Why are you making light mode? Like I was sorely tempted to waste one of my interview questions with Yoshida being like, so do do you use like Twitter and Discord light mode? Is that why you're doing this?
I think they did it because they already did it for PvP. I never understood why PvP was different in the first place.
I don't know.
I turned on light mode for like 45 seconds and then immediately logged out and turned it off. And I was like, this is I can't do this.
Yeah, right.
I literally cannot function on anything that doesn't have a dark mode. I will take dark mode for everything. I can't take some of these Twitch comments. I can't take it.
Yeah, you guys gotta calm down a bit there.
Yo, I'm hoping we get like a menu, because they mentioned a long time ago when there was still talks of a potential API, which is not, no. But they mentioned that one of the things they'd like to add would be stylized UI, like what we got with the light mode. But they specifically said to make the menus look like the old like blue gradients from the old Final Fantasy menus. And we have sort of that with the Palace of the Dead UI. So I hope they do that at some point.
I'd fucking hate that.
I'm not a big fan of blue gradients.
I mean, it's like it's nostalgic, but it's so much harder to read.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Not to me.
We're not talking about you though, Sly. This isn't about you. This is about Ethys. Okay.
Yeah. This show's about me, all right? I'm the guest.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He did say he was gonna come on the show 2 weeks later, and then he came here. That's it.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're the best, man. Did it.
No one's ever gonna be
God damn it. Another quality of life. Glamour dresser capacity increased from 200 to 400.
We knew that. Yeah. We knew that was coming. They mentioned that a little bit. I think somebody asked about it at the media tour.
Oh, that's great though. That's so good.
And the plates increased from 10 to 15.
Okay, two things. One, the first comment I saw about the plates is that still doesn't match the number of jobs that you can play as. And two, I remember seeing somebody say, okay, that's 400 out of 12,000 items. And I'm like, you didn't keep all 12,000 items. No one in their right mind. And they're like, I would. And I'm like, I just don't have fucking words for you.
I would if I could, if there was room for it. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't think I've stored a single item in my dresser. I actually need to, because my armory just not looking so great right now.
I had to do a little bit of cleaning, and that's why I kind of started doing leveling, because I just want to get rid of shit. Not for the sheer fact that I just need to level other jobs. I just need to get rid of armor from other jobs and roles.
As chat saying, just give us WoW transmog. I don't want to have to think about this.
Right.
Fuck it. I still stand by Final Fantasy XI and WoW have better transmog systems than
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. When 11 has one better, it's where there's a slight problem with that.
The next big thing, kind of a happy thing, achievement filter.
We talked about that already.
No, we didn't.
I don't think so.
What do you... Chat! I brought it up earlier. I literally said they have the new achievement filters. You said they didn't have that at the Media Tour build. And I said, yeah, they had the wish list at least.
No, that was talking about...
we didn't talk too much in detail.
Because we didn't care. Because nobody cared except me. So you guys just dropped it as soon as I brought it up.
But yes, well, here, Happy, you go ahead. Go ahead.
You can sort now. Moving on.
Okay. What's the point of that? What does that do for us?
You could track different achievements, and you can sort them by ones that reward items or titles.
Okay. Track only a max of 30 achievements. That is the max. And Happy's being pouty.
I want better achievements. I think this thing's nice for not needing to scroll through a big fucking list to find stuff. I just still need more interesting achievements personally.
Well, it kind of just draws attention to how not interesting the achievements are.
Yeah, you're skipping all the bullshit ones basically to only see the good ones.
And then I guess the next huge thing was the changes to the mentor system. So basically everybody gets grandfathered in at like in the beginning. So at 5.0, everybody gets grandfathered in if you're a current mentor, but you have to recertify by 5.2, I guess was the cutoff.
It's just leveling to 80, man.
Yeah, that's
it's just cutting out people who don't play. That's it. I wanted it to actually cut out bad mentors. These are pants. These are just really short shorts.
Yeah, footy shorts.
They say Adidas and everything. I don't know what relevance that has, but all right. Yeah, dude, I want them to literally. Can I get a vote kick mentor option for bad? Like, so I can put in a request to remove someone's crown, please.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Like, I need in-game
from the mentor system.
I need the mentor equivalent of Yelp. I need to be able to leave reviews for mentors.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. I agree. That's not a bad idea.
To rate mentors.
I need to be able to leave comments on some mentors.
It's a good idea, but it would get utilized so fucking wrong because everybody just troll.
Not everybody. If you're the mentor who goes into the 24-man and tells everyone that they're all cucks, then you should probably get a bad review. Okay.
But then you have that really like that was really good in trying to do the right thing, and you'll have the shit posters and whatever alliance they were in, they're just like leaving a fucking bad review anyway. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it's
so exactly the same as Yelp.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melp.
So,
I saw it in the chat. Melp. Fine, then add a different kind of commendation so I can. Fine, then do it like fucking Uber instead, where they get stars. So I can give them I can leave them a star.
Serve the purpose anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Make that commendations.
Yeah, commendations serve the purpose anyway. You either leave one or you don't.
But but that doesn't. Nobody else sees the commendation.
There's no extra emotion attached to it. If you leave like.
I just want the bad mentors to stop, man. I want the good mentors are great. I love them, but there's so many not good. There's more not good mentors than good mentors. They're just like, I just wanted the crown. Listen, there's no game that does a mentor system well, and there's a good reason for that. It's because people suck, okay? It's the bottom line. You're killing me here, man. Just killing me.
Yep. And pretty much after that, they went over the characters, which we saw, and Twitch got cut off in the middle of that. Yay! Thanks, Twitch.
Which part?
The characters.
Yeah, they were talking about Minfilia, and then it got cut off for me, but that was. Whatever. I mean, most of the characters is like that was really not for people who like have cared about these characters for years. Anyone who's cared about these characters over the years, the only like lines of interest really were that's not like Minfilia, which we kind of already knew, like it's Minfilia in quotes, and that Thancred learned to use a gunblade when he was in the Garlean territory, which most people assumed anyway. A lot of people were surprised to find out his last name was Waters.
Waters. Yeah, Thancred Waters.
Hello, Mr. Waters.
Yeah, I don't think we knew that, actually. I think that's news.
Some other people were like, we knew that. And I was like, did we? I don't know.
Did we? I don't know if we did.
It's probably in the lore book, to be honest. So lore book's pretty big.
I don't know why I didn't remember it, because I knew all their others.
It's a pretty boring last name, to be fair. Not really worth committing to memory. Wish I'd put it on the Erzivia reverse Erzivia we did for you. Yeah. Please give us all the last names of the scions.
Well, that would have been the one that caught me up. Yeah.
You would have got partial credit. It's okay. Thancred's not.
And basically that was pretty much it. The only other news we got was like the little extra stuff at the end, usually at the end of live letters, and new worlds. Spriggan will be added to Chaos. Twintania will be added to Light. You don't need to transfer. Please don't.
Those also open in 4 days. That's the other important thing. Those are open in 4 days, not when
they're open in 4 days. There's just no fucking reason to. I'm just warning people right now because I had somebody who did this. Don't transfer. You have to wait there 90 days to come back. Think about what you do before you do
it. Are new servers automatically preferred? I don't remember because it happened to Stormblood, I think, too, when people transferred to Omega. If I recall. I think they are. I mean, it makes sense because, listen, every other world on Europe is like practically unable to create characters right now. So they may need more than one on each.
Hey, you know what would be really, really great?
What?
Australian data center.
I knew it was coming.
That would be great. That really would be great. I agree.
Data center down under.
Yeah.
One day. Wouldn't you just get an Oceania one? Wouldn't that be when they just shove it?
Yeah, but they'll shove it in Sydney.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. One day, I believe. Listen, apparently the game has the highest concurrent subscriber base pre-expansion launch that it's had. According to Lucky Boncho, he's estimating about 1 million active. Just about over 1 million active right now.
Yeah. That's no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say it's a lull before the expansion, but it's the, oh shit, I didn't finish this thing before the expansion time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the, oh, I need Dancer Gunbreaker gear for 60 and 70, and I also only did the story up to 4.3. So holy shit. And then I never did Evilise or the, it's literally the I fucked up and waited till now crunch time of pre-expansion at this point. So that's where we stand. Thank you, Twitch Prime. I mean, it's not just Twitch Prime. It certainly helped, but that ended like at the beginning of May, and I think we got a Lucky Boncho one like around that time also. So it's gone up a lot. I think it is definitely June, symptom of June. There's also confirmation of jump potions for early access going up to 70 and the Stormblood skip. I know I have a character I need to buy that for, because if I'm going to do gear funneling, or if it's going to be needed, I'll probably need that.
Yeah, of course.
For ultimate!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably helping too. $7 jump potions now, but I ain't buying that fucking thing. I think it only goes up to 60. Can't fucking debate me right now. Yeah.
Yeah, this from 60 to 70 in like 2 days.
Yeah. Or I can just do it all at once and spend no time doing it. You're not gonna fucking debate me with that one, as far as I'm concerned. All right. So with that, unless there's any other point you guys want to dive into, because this went so late, I think we could call it a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's anything we missed from the trailer. We kind of like blasted through it pretty quickly, but I think there's anything important that we skipped.
I'm sure there's like 2 second scene in there that we didn't discuss that someone's gonna be upset about.
There's a bunch of small, like, I wouldn't call them minute things, but stuff that you could kind of go in more detail about. And again, if you really want to go into more detail to our video,
cool. All right,
you got you.
Yo,
always got you.
The biggest news, I forgot. The fucking Escape remix is from the trailer, from the Job Action trailer.
Yeah.
That comes with the fucking CD. It did say the Escape Journeys remix or Journeys edition.
Wait, with
the whatever the latest, the one with Omega MNF on the front, the CD.
Yeah, it's on that.
It says you get the orchestrion roll with it for Escape Journeys edition, and I'd like to assume that's the one from the Job Action trailer at the very least. I'm hard pressed.
Tenders, boys.
If it is that, that's so good.
Chicken tenders, boys.
Chat's like, you forgot to talk about achievement filters. Fucking Christ. Yeah, and the Omega minions, the MNF minions that are going
from that as well.
Yeah.
Man, it'd be nice if that would ship to Australia.
See, Trust, the only thing they really mentioned with Trust that we didn't already talk about was that you get 1/4 the loot if you're running dungeons with trusts. That's like the only new trust detail. I will say that from the Mediator build, they did update the trust behavior. I don't know if you ran into this issue at this, but Thancred, when I would do dungeons with him, would do a full single target rotation before doing any AoEs. He did AoEs first in the live letter. He would literally charge in and do Gunbreaker AoEs.
I don't recall.
I have footage of him ignoring that shit.
And one I guess misspeak that I guess either IME translator or either Yoshi P said it wrong. Whenever you die, like the player character dies in trust, you do not start the entire dungeon over. It's just you.
No, you just got
okay. So there was I didn't bring it up because we were in the Mediator. We ran into an issue where at one point someone disconnected and they came back in and they had to restart. So I was assuming that was either a bug or when they mentioned that the first time, the before the fixed translation, that it was intentional. So I'm glad to hear that it was not intentional.
Right.
You do not need to restart the entire dungeon. You just spawn at the beginning of the dungeon.
And take
that would be some fucking shit. Honestly, at that point, they might as well do it. Like, yeah, if you fuck up, just do it all over. Listen, when the main character dies in any other game, you go back to the last checkpoint. You entering the dungeon was your checkpoint.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, it might. We'll see. Oh, to be clear, the DC didn't eject you from the dungeon. You just came back into the dungeon without any trusts. Which is what I assume would happen if you die. But we'll see.
Meh.
We shall see indeed. Okay, I think that's a wrap.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
We sped through it. I'm certain we could have talked more about things, but with how late this show went.
Oh yeah.
I'm not jumping at the bit to do that. Tuesday we will be doing a show where we'll be going over in detail. We mentioned the Ishgard exploration coming from the interviews. We'll be going over that interview information, and probably, I'm sure, other stuff will come up. I got to find some guests for it. Ethys, I won't bother you. He's like, thanks, man.
Sure. Good. Great.
Great.
Sleep in.
Yeah, exactly. Like you did today. You were so thrilled when I said 5 p.m. You were like, perfect.
Yes. I was stoked.
I know you were. Aloha, stop. Don't yell at me. Okay. With that, we're going to quickly thank the Patreon sponsors. Like I said, because the show's running late, we're not going to read names. It doesn't help that a bunch of people had their names added to the list. I saw a few updates that need to be done anyway. So those people are not on there, but now you don't got to worry about it because I wouldn't have been able to add you anyway, and I'm not going to shout out any names. I will say the patrons of Light at the very least, because there's only 2 of them. Our Patreon sponsors have been supporting us through #demonetized for quite some time now. Ethys is very familiar with that life. And you should do a Patreon for some lore videos.
Yeah, I might.
I'll fucking subscribe to that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You got one person. There, look. Say you've got one patron. I'll be your.
Well, that's already going to be more money than the ad revenue. So great. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm soon to become patrons of darkness. We got Khuja Cross on Jenova. And we've got, actually, that's Kurenai. That's Khuja Cross. He's taking a picture. He's remembering the Ananta, because soon there will never be a picture with Ananta in it ever again, because no one will want to anymore. And then we've got Kurenai, who's a very dark image, looking at the crystal tower on top of his Omega Mount, looking shiny. I'm sorry, I got rid of the picture with Slyh in his cookware. I have the picture, but it's no longer the picture that we're using here.
Good.
Stop it, Ethys. I just looked. No. I'm not reading the names. You don't get to do that.
You don't have to read the names. It's cool. Look, they still deserve our love and
all right,
affection.
fine. Yeah, get some PogChamps in the chat for all the patrons. For all the patrons who aren't named this show. Because those PogChamps are for the rap god. There you go. That's perfect. Read the names. It's a long list. All right. But on that note, we can do our goodbyes. Ethys, thanks for joining us, man.
Anytime. Just not on Tuesday.
Okay, perfect. That's literally the antithesis of any time. But sure, we'll go with that. So you're a liar. That's fine. All right.
Shut up.
Anyway.
You bunt.
It's such a good. It's so good. I love
You
it.
fucking bunt. Thanks everyone. Thanks for having me on. I'm Ethys. You can find me Ethys Asher, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Instagram, Ethys Asher. Thanks very much for having me on. Thanks for watching. I love you all. And I assume Slyh probably does as well.
Of course I love you all. I do. Hi. You can find me twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox, Twitter @Slythefox, youtube.com/development room. I'm just trying to get through June, and then July gets here and all the shit happens. Everything happens, and we don't have time to do anything because it's July. We're probably all playing Shadowbringers, just trying to survive. But yeah, that's what's going on right now. Yeah, those are the places you can find me. Haps, where can they find you in Aloha?
Well, they're not gonna find Aloha anywhere because I tried to hold him up to the camera for the outro, and he's like, "Get the fuck off me." Listen, I can clean your shit up when I'm done, so you will love me. Okay? You can find Aloha and I at Mr. Happy 1227, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. With him shitting on the mat outside of his litter box. I know what you did. And yeah, we're gonna make some. I've been obsessively playing Octopath for the last week, even though I've beaten it twice in the last week. I need to do a third run to get all the achievements because the achievements are fucking bullshit and a half. But Steam version. Woo-hoo. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week to talk about the interviews and any other miscellaneous news we might have missed today, or a second opinion since we'll have a guest who isn't Ethys, since he said go fuck you, and when I said hey Tuesday, and he's like yeah, well not me. I'm like, eh. And I said not him anyway, so it's fine. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Ethys, are you streaming after this?
Yeah, I'll go get some lunch and I'll probably start streaming in about half an hour.
All right, so Ethys going to stream in half an hour. I think you're done for the day, Slyh, if I'm not mistaken, considering how late it is where you are. And I'll see you tomorrow. So thanks, everyone, for hanging out. We'll do 2-3 minute post-show at most and go live our lives. I'm hungry.
All right.
And I'm going to clean feces.
All right.
All right.
See you later, butts.
Goodbye, everybody.